Hey guys, welcome back to Caden's Corner. The Boston Celtics are playing at a historic rate. Coming off a brutal letdown in the finals last season, it was back to the drawing board. Their All-NBA superstar Jayson Tatum crumbled in the finals. He averaged 21 points a game off of 37% shooting. His inability to step up for the Celtics cost them banner number 18, and Tatum heard about it all offseason. The other issue in the finals was the lack of a true point guard and more ball handlers on this team. The Celtics had to rely on Tatum and Brown bringing the ball up the floor, causing them to be forced off their spots. The Celtics' first offseason move was trading for point guard Malcolm Brogdon. This gave them a true ball handler and another scorer that averaged 20 points a game. Then they signed veteran Danilo Gallinari to add size and scoring to this second unit. But a few weeks before the season, Celtics fans began clenching their fists. During a summer Italian national team game, Gallinari suffered a torn ACL, ending his season. Then Celtics big man Robert Williams underwent knee surgery, sidelining him for 2 to 3 months. If things couldn't get any worse, the Celtics head coach Ime Udoka violated team policies by having an intimate relationship with a female member of the organization. As a result, he was suspended for the entire season. This promising bounce-back season for the Celtics seemed to have been derailed in less than a month. But the next question was, who would be the next head coach? Former Celtics assistant coach Will Hardy left to become the head coach of the Utah Jazz. This left 34-year-old assistant coach Joe Mazzulla in the spotlight. He was elevated to be the Celtics' interim head coach, making him the youngest coach in the NBA. There were a lot of doubters that he would be able to lead the Celtics back to the finals, but through the beginning of the season, the Celtics have been spectacular. They're at the top of the East and have the best record in the NBA, and for opposing teams, there is no recipe for beating the Celtics. They are incredibly balanced on offense and defense. The Celtics currently lead the NBA with 118.5 offensive rating. This is on pace to be the highest in NBA history. It starts with their superstar Jayson Tatum. After the finger was pointed at him all offseason, he seems to have taken it personally. Through 21 games, he's averaging nearly 32 points per game and is top 3 in the MVP conversation. Batman's Robin is also having the best season of his career. Jaylen Brown is averaging 26 points per game and almost 7 rebounds per game. This duo has emerged as one of the best in the NBA, but if you think that the Celtics offense solely relies on these two guys, that's where you'd be wrong. The Celtics offense has so many intricacies that make it so good. They obviously run most of their plays through their stars, but the stress they put on defenses is what makes the Celtics offense so lethal. Tatum and Brown, being two of the best ISO scorers in the league, help create so many open shots for this team. But let's start with what these guys do when they have the ball in their hands. Tatum is averaging nearly 32 points per game and is second in the league in scoring. For a guy who choked in the finals, he is proving he knows how to close out games. He is second in the NBA in fourth quarter points. He also has quickly emerged as the leader in this year's MVP race. The Celtics have been so good offensively because of this man. What most teams do to get their superstar mismatches is use screens. The Celtics obviously do this for Tatum, but they get a little more creative when doing this action. Instead of having Tatum be the ball handler, he will come up and set the screen. If the primary defender wants to stick with him, he has to chase him to where Tatum wants to go. Because he sets that screen so quickly, it allows for separation between him and the defender. This makes a scramble to close out the shot and also not get beat off the dribble. Tatum being such a good individual scorer puts defenses in a pickle when trying to figure out what to do defensively. On the one hand, if you leave him one-on-one, he will score 9 out of 10 times. But if you double or overcommit on help defense, the Celtics put players 1 through 5 on the floor that can shoot at all times. Derek White comes up to set the screen on Oubre. The Hornets blitz Tatum and force the ball out of his hands. He dumps it off to White in the middle, forcing Plumlee, the help defender, to rotate over. Griffin makes a great blindside cut, and it leads to a highlight dunk. Up 10 against the Kings, Kornet comes up to set the screen for Tatum. Sabonis switches onto Tatum. Once Kornet cuts to the basket, Monk brings the delayed double team. The backside help defender is now in a pickle with an open cutter or Hauser wide open behind the arc. Tatum looks at Kornet freezing the defender and wings it to Hauser for the 3. Against the Nuggets, the Celtics exposed this Tatum-Jokic mismatch all game. Horford, the screener, comes up bringing Jokic to put him in the switch action. Bruce Brown chases Tatum through the screen while Jokic drops. Horford picks and pops for a wide open 3 and makes the Nuggets defense pay. All season, the Celtics have utilized Horford's shooting ability in the pick and pop game. He is one of the most valuable big men in basketball because of his ability to shoot and defend. Horford is shooting nearly 49% from beyond the arc this season, and it's 6th in the league in 3-point percentage. The Celtics kill teams in transition, and it's one of the reasons this offense is performing at a historic rate. When they secure that defensive rebound, everybody is sprinting down the court to prevent opposing teams from setting their defense. Tatum pushes the ball up the court off the rebound. Gordon is waiting to pick him up once he crosses half court. Grant comes up to set the screen on Gordon to get Tatum going downhill. KCP is not ready for this and keeps sinking with Horford. Jokic points out for him to switch, but he doesn't go up, so Jokic is forced up to a late contest on Tatum and he hits the three. The Celtics do this and kill so many teams in the transition game. This allows them to stretch leads in the blink of an eye. But another set that they love to run is this double screen action. Out of this action, they run so many plays. Against the Nuggets, halfway through the first quarter, Smart handles the ball at the three-point line. Tatum moves behind Horford to make this three-player alignment. Bruce Brown has no chance fighting over both screens, and it results in a JB3. Later on in the game, the Celtics do this action again. Brown passes to Horford and cuts to the wing. He works his way over to create this three-player alignment. Tatum slowly moves towards the ball while Smart and Brown show the double screen. Gordon goes to chase his movement towards the screen, but then he quickly hits him with a backdoor cut. Horford fakes the pass to Tatum while Brown drifts behind the Smart screen and hits the triple. They ran this version of the play here with JB against the Knicks. This time Tatum is the trigger man, and Smart and Brogdon are setting the picks. Randall can't fight through the screen, and Brown gets an open three. Now it's Hauser's turn later on in the Knicks game. But instead of running through the double screen, he sets two screens. Reddish and Randall miscommunicate, and Sam Hauser makes them pay, knocking down the triple. In this game, they also ran the three-man action, but not in the same way. This play starts with Smart moving towards the eventual Tatum screen. Reddish and Barrett switch while Tatum works back over the Griffin screen at the top of the three-point line. Reddish can't see the pass off from Hartenstein, and Tatum gets a wide open three. Depending on how the Celtics change their starting lineup when Robert Williams comes back, they will have 4 players coming off the bench that have a top 15 three-point percentage. This is unbelievable. Grant Williams, Derek White, Malcolm Brogdon, and Sam Hauser all shoot that well. Not to mention Al Horford is also top 15 in the NBA. The Celtics have 5 of the 15 best three-point shooters in the NBA. That is crazy. Some of these lineups they are putting on the floor give so much shooting firepower. A guy who has played a huge role for the Celtics this season is Derek White. Due to the Robert Williams injury, he has been thrown into the starting lineup as the 2 guard. He is another guy that can put the ball on the floor and take it to the rim. Last season, he shot 30% from beyond the arc, and this season is shooting 45%, 12th in the NBA. He is also a defensive ace, taking the 3rd most charges in the NBA this season. Another guy who has played a huge role off the bench is Sam Hauser. In his 2nd year in the league, he has been lights out. If being a white boy who never misses is a person, it would be him. The Celtics this offseason signed Hauser to a 3-year, $5 million contract, and man was it a steal. Hauser is nearly 50% when shooting the 3-ball. He ranks 8th in the NBA in three-point percentage and has become such a reliable weapon off the bench. I haven't even begun talking about this team's defense. Last year, Marcus Smart won Defensive Player of the Year. Robert Williams finished in 4th place, but his impact hasn't been felt this season. Through the first 11 games, they ranked 24th defensively in the NBA, and in the last 10 games, ranked 13th. They've done all of this while maintaining the best offense of all time. But Robert Williams will turn this defensive unit into one of the best in the league again. He is set to return from his injury before Christmas, which will be monumental to the Celtics on the defensive side of the ball. The Celtics are so great on defense because they switch everything 1 through 5. Getting mismatches on this team or picking out the weakest link doesn't work. Also, having your 2 stars that play excellent on offense and also buy in on defense is why this unit has been so good the last few years. With Chris Middleton coming back, the team that stands the best chance to take down the Celtics is the Bucks. I think when Middleton is back to his old self, the Bucks will make a strong playoff push. We can expect another playoff matchup between these teams in the Eastern Conference Finals this year. The Celtics hold the best record in the NBA and are a force to be reckoned with. I predicted at the beginning of the season that the Celtics would win the title off of a massive bounce back year from Jayson Tatum, and as of right now, I feel as confident as ever. But I want to add something to this take. This Celtics crew is performing at such a high level at such a young age. I believe that this team will blossom into the next dynasty, and teams will have to go through them to win the title. I'm Caden Kubler, and that's my take.